This is day 2 of the X at-home workout program for week 2. So the first exercise that we're going to do is a SLDL, and it says with gallon, but again I'm going to use the cornhole bag just to add a little bit more weight. So SLDL stands for single leg deadlift, and just like any other deadlift, it's a hip hinge position, but now we're just going to have one leg of support. So I'm going to show my left leg being the working leg. So if that's the case, if my left leg's the working leg, I like to put the resistance in my right hand. And what you're going to think about is your right leg is going to be the one that's coming back. So ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder are going to all be in one line. With your left leg, I like to say keep a soft knee, which means just a little bit of bend, nothing crazy, nothing too excessive, also not completely fully extended, because then you might kind of hurt the front part where your patella is. So, and then also with your left foot, think of when we do the bodyweight squat, screwing in that foot. So building up that tension through the side of your leg into your butt. So screw in that foot, squeeze your abs, and you're going to have everything come back all in one line, go nice and under control, and come back up. So if you can go a little bit deeper, great. If you can only go to right here, that's fine too. Just make sure that it looks good. And with this, same thing with the rows and everything else that we do, suitcase carry. Make sure that when you come here, you're not having your shoulder slouch to the ground. You're keeping that shoulder nice and pulled back, keeping that shoulder in line with everything else, and feeling that exercise all through the back of your left leg or your hamstring and your butt. So the second exercise is a eccentric and iso push-up. So similar with the eccentric squats. Eccentric means on the way down in this case as well, and then iso means holding it at the bottom. So we're going to go 3 seconds down and then 2 seconds at the bottom. So normal push-up position, right? And I'm going to do it on chair, and then I'm going to do it on the ground. So normal push-up position, ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders all in line. And then you're going to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and come up. And now on the ground, focus on keeping your wrist directly beneath your shoulder. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and come all the way up. Again, similar to everything else that I've been saying, don't reach with your hands, keep those shoulders nice and set back, and then once you hit the bottom, pretend like you're pinching that grape in between your shoulder blades. The next exercise in the A grouping is a suitcase through an airport. Again, I actually put both cornhole bags in a gym bag just to add a little bit more resistance. Everybody's been asking me how to do it, and you can literally do it with anything. A gym bag, in my case, works great. So a suitcase carry through an airport, similar to last week when we did just a normal suitcase carry, means just in one hand. The through the airport part is we've all been through the airport, maybe not right now, but you know, everybody, you have to weave in between people, go through security, all that sort of stuff. So we try to recreate that with this. So same thing as a suitcase carry, pull that shoulder back, squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt, elbow fully extended, and then you're going to weave in and out of those families going to Disney World. So that's suitcase carry through an airport, 50 feet one way, switch into your other side, 50 feet with that way. So the B grouping on day 2 is, the first one is called a go slow burpee. So similar to the challenge last week where I had the E level challenge, do that kind of very deliberate burpee, you're going to do the same thing this week. So all that means is, instead of just kind of jumping down, jumping into that push-up position, and then jumping up, we're going to do everything very deliberate. So you're going to go down, hands on the ground, 1 foot back, 2nd foot back, push up, 1 foot up, 2nd foot up, and stand up. So I did a range, so 5 to 10. These are shockingly more difficult than a regular burpee, just because you can't go as fast, and it's almost like holding that high plank for the entire time. So then the second exercise in the B grouping is a reverse monster walk. So basically, same thing as monster walk, sending that back foot back as far as you can go, and then meeting it too. One thing that I like to think about when I do this though, say if my right leg is going to be the leg that goes back, I like to lift that right leg as high as I can go and then shoot it through. And if you notice, this looks a lot like an SLDL, right? So it's very similar positioning. Send that back leg back, and then bring your left leg too. And that's a reverse monster walk. So then the third thing that we're gonna do is a shoulder six-way, and I'm using just golf balls in my fists. You can use tennis balls, you can even use half-filled gallons, whatever you want to do. If you have dumbbells, that works great. And this is similar to a lat raise, but it's 6 shoulder movements, which is why it's called a shoulder six-way. So in these balls, you just squeeze them as hard as you can to build that tension through your arm. And then I'm going to demonstrate it standing up. You can also do this sitting down. Make sure when you're sitting down, you're keeping everything nice and straight. But when you're standing up, shoulder width apart, screw in those feet, just like with the squat, to squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, and then you're going to lat raise out, bring them forward, bring them up, bring them down, bring them to the side, and then bring them down to your side. And I'm going to show this from a side angle, because one thing I see with a lot of people, especially with this movement, is people tend to reach. And you want to kind of finish that movement just like this. So it should look like that, not that. And then the second thing is when people go all the way up, people have a tendency to, you know, kind of hyperextend in that back. What it should look like is all the way back, keeping nice and straight through your core, nice and tight, and then coming back down. And that's shoulder six-way. That is day 2. On week 2, swipe over for day 3.